Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Some slight changes to the intro. Not a new song, not a different song, just a different section of the song. What was the ending before, I've moved to the beginning and played from there. So tell me if you like the intro as it is, or do I need to keep working on it? I think I need to keep working on it, but it's good for now. Of course, it is time for the summer fun time, summer fundraiser with Chungus and myself. We have reached 1,584 euros in 44 partials. We are raising for these guys right here.
Ми військовослужбовці підрозділу Прайм 5-го прикордонного загону. Зараз знаходимося на Сумщині та стримуємо наступ ворога. Потребуємо мікроавтобус для виконання бойових задач і очищення українського неба від ворожих крил. Звертаємось до команди Car for Ukraine та Бандера Мобіль з проханням допомогти з закупівлею, підготовкою і доставкою авто, а також до Renegade Changus та Канті Людан і їх спільноти з проханням допомогти підтримати збір. Слава Україні!
Героям слава! I love the video. Heading down to the bottom to check on donors. Mercado Media shouted us out on his stream to plug the fundraiser for us, giving us a bit of helping hand. And Matsuiz Ozaki donating 52.47 euros, helping out with the campaign there. Again, thank you to everyone who is helping Ukraine and helping this fundraiser. So M35, welcome Adam Rounds, Nura, Linda H, Indie Darkstar, you know they exist. Thank you all for coming to the stream. Yeah, I just was listening to the full song and I wanted to change it to that section, so I hope you guys liked it. If you, like I said, if you can, I would appreciate it so much if you're, my brain is not functional today after doing all the editing to get the new soundtrack on, and if you are able to and have the means, please go to the Cars for Ukraine donation link pinned to the top of chat and help get these guys the vehicle they need so much. Heading over to the air alert map. Drones everywhere. Ivano-Frankish, Lviv, Ternopil, Klemensky, Volyn, Ravine, Zhytomyr, Kiev Oblast, Chernihiv, Sumy, Kharkiv, both Oblast and city, Donetsk, Zaporizhia, and the eastern part of Dnipro, all under air alert, as well as Kivri. Hopping over to the operational information. Nur, you had an exhausting day too? Hey there, BB. Thank you. Yes, the link is in chat. Thanks to BB now too. Operational information as of 8 a.m. July 8th, 2025 regarding the Russian invasion. Always starts with glory to Ukraine. The 1,231st day of the large-scale armed aggression of the Russian Federation against Ukraine has begun. In total, 188 combat clashes were recorded over the past day. According to updated information, yesterday the invaders carried out 2 missile strikes using 5 missiles and 68 airstrikes using 112 guided aerial bombs on the territory of Ukraine. In addition, Russia used 3,373 kamikaze drones for destruction and carried out more than 5,000 artillery shellings of the positions of our troops and settlements. 141 of those were from multiple launch rocket systems, and I just noticed my camera is not centered. Hopefully that's the one that does. I need to go over more. There we go. The aggressor carried out airstrikes, in particular on the areas of the settlements of Kindrativka, Konstantinivka, Novomykolaivka, Vololagi, Oleksivka, and Sadki in Sumy region, Novopavlivka in Dnipro region, Primorsk in Zaporizhia, Kozatsky, Kherson region. Over the past day, aviation, missile troops, and artillery units of the Defense Forces of Ukraine struck 18 areas of concentration of personnel, weapons, and military equipment, 3 artillery pieces, a control point, and 1 other important enemy object. Getting into the directions and heading over to the deep state map. There is news coming up in the video section about this area right here. Ukrainians have pushed the Russians back right here. Have more detail on that later. But 8 clashes took place in the North Slobohansky and Kursk directions over the past day. In general, they do not talk about the directions, but I gave one of those away just now. Heading down to the South Slobohansk and the Kharkiv area, the enemy carried out 6. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. In the Kursk Sumy area, the enemy carried out 6 airstrikes, dropping 11 guided bombs, and carried out 286 artillery strikes. 3 of those were from MLRSs. In the South Slobohansk and Kharkiv areas, the enemy stormed the position of our units 19 times in the areas of Voschansk, Zeleny, coming over to this pocket here, Amdarny, Krasny Pershi, Kemianka, and towards Kutkivka. Right here. There we go. Heading a bit to the south to the Kupiansk direction. 2 attacks by the invaders took place during the day. The defense forces repelled the enemy assaults near Golubivka and Zarazova. Jumping down to the Liman direction, where the enemy attacked 27 times, trying to advance in the areas of the settlements of Novimir, Ridkobub, Zelina Dolna, Torsky, right there, and in the Sechira Bryanka forest over here, as well as towards Sechira Bryanka itself, Olhivka, which is back up this way. Olhivka right there. And Gorivka. I thought it was right here. Oh, but no, I'm getting them confused. Rivkivka and Girogorivka right there. Okay, something is messing with my mouse. Dust or something on the laser optics. That was Liman heading to Sudervisk. In the areas of Girogorivka and Vamivka, the enemy attacked the positions of our troops 3 times. Heading over to Kramatorsk, 5 clashes were recorded in the Kramatorsk area. The enemy advanced towards Mirlovka, Markova, Pretechny, and as always, still trying to take this small town of Bilogora. Heading just a bit to the south to the Toretsk direction. The enemy carried out 4 attacks on Toretsk itself and Divlivka. And Pokrovsk still being the hottest area of the front. Our defenders stopped 68 assault and offensive actions of the aggressors in the areas of the settlements of Popiv Yar, Razini, Mirolubivka, Novo Ekonomishny, Lisivka, Shurchenko, Novo Ukrainka right there, Zirozova, Udashny, Novoserhivka, Koltanyarka, Gorkovo, and Oleksivka. In the Novopavlivka direction, the enemy attacked our positions 30 times in the areas of the settlements of Pridubny, Fedorivka, Voskreshenka, Yalta, Shurchenko, Novosilka, Volinipol, and Novopil. Heading over to Guliapol direction. The defense forces successfully repelled 4 enemy assaults near Malonivka, all in the same area. And heading over to Orhiv. Our defenders repelled 4 enemy attacks in the Kamiensky area and towards Malotokmaka. If you zoom in here and go back a couple steps, you see the Russians have made some progress in the Kamiensky area, advancing up the former coastline. No clashes were recorded in the Perdniprovsky direction over here with Kherson. Again, no signs of enemy offensive groups have been detected in the Volyn or Polizia directions. Our soldiers continue to inflict significant losses on the occupation forces, both in manpower and equipment, and are actively undermining the enemy's offensive potential in the rear. Goes into the losses for today. And yes, there is another heavy flamethrower system of the invaders that is not on the graphic. We'll check out the other losses on the graphic here shortly. And we end with join the defense forces. Razom peremojemo. Slava Ukraina. A lot of going on in chat. What did the muffler say? Yeah, I never did like dealing with them after working as a bartender in college. Please show us how much red is around Vuhledar. That was a historic defense for a long time, and what did Russia seek after consuming Vuhledar? It was like Bakhmut on a small scale. I think you got that a little bit backwards. You know they exist. I'll show that in a second once I get caught up with chat. Hello, KKGG. Listening but jumping away from chat for a minute to grab. I've read that as a beer for dinner. Grab a bean for dinner. Okay. Elves, jousters, raptors, miscellaneous rollers, Mitch, Mexi, BB. Yeah. Muffler is exhausted. Oh, I don't know. Vuhledar. Vuhledar and Vodane were the main defense line for Ukraine for a long, long time. Yes, there is a lot of red from Vuhledar. The lines used to be like up this way. Vuhledar right here, Vodane. Vodane had underground storage, and Russia discovered that Vuhledar was being supplied by supplies from Vodane and pushed hard on Vodane. Vuhledar soon fell after that, and well, you can basically figure out that essentially this entire area is what Russia was able to capture after Vuhledar fell. It scared me. A lot of that was because they expected Vuhledar to hold and didn't really build defense lines in the rear. Kharkivka, Kharkovka were soon after that, with a push on Pokrovsk and the push from Vuhledar, making this a pocket and just kind of pushed quite a ways into after Vuhledar fell. By comparison, Bakhmut, that's Bakhmut's right there. That was basically the line for a long time before Bakhmut. And this is as far as they've gotten after Bakhmut. They had defensive lines at Chasiv Yar set up. Different commander, different general, different strategy. So Bakhmut falling was definitely a bad thing, but it cost them a lot. But you also have to look at, well, let's go to Google Maps and Now, this is the city of Bakhmut. Um, huge city. And Ukraine made Russians pay for every building, every garage stall, every house, and they fought them in Bakhmut for months. Let's come down to Vuhledar. And that's Vuhledar. There isn't a whole lot to the city. They cut the supplies from the south. Russians were in Pavlivka, and then they pushed in Vodiny. Vodini's not on the main road, so they were pushing supplies in from here, and the Russians pushed up into Vodiny and cut that supply line, leading to, well, Vuhledar collapsing. But this was the storage area. A lot of underground areas in here with the mine, and they had supplies stored in there. Cut the supplies to there. This area still held out for quite a long time until the supplies ran out. And then the Ukrainians took this road north and evacuated the area and went back to, well, other defensive lines. It's just an expression. Oh, green beans from your garden, nice. Um, well, see if there's a view from Vuhledar. There's a couple here. Let me see if I can find one that's a drone overhead view. It wasn't necessarily that it was high ground. Um, as you can see, you can't even see the buildings from here, from this view. Um, it's just with the high-rise buildings, they could see the Russians approaching, and you see what they had to deal with, basically a swamp heading in there. Of course, updated pictures, you see all the artillery shells, all the strikes in the area, where the Russian trenches where they're trying to move closer. And I don't know if they've updated Vuhledar, but you could just see the amount of shells and strikes leading up to the city is just massive. So yeah, updated in Vuhledar. They got buildings with hits, craters in the green spaces. Very few trees left with green on them. But yeah, that's. I wish there was like a street view or something I could show you. Shevchenko Monument. Let's try. The gym in town. All, it. That's what Russians did to it. And I mean, it's just a small town that was the workforce for this mine. Um, so high-rise buildings, a nice view over the area. It was a good fortress. Unfortunately, there was like no other natural obstacles in the way in going to the north of here. Uh, let's face south. It's not what I meant to do, but uh, so looking to the south, it's just low rolling hills and pretty much nothing else in this whole area. Um, no natural defenses, no until you got up to Katranivka, Elizavetivka, and they put up a good defensive line here, but they had the Percross front pushing them from the north, um, Russians pushing from the south and the east, and it just kind of, well, turned into that. I should say this. Um, we've been able to, Ukraine's been able to stop them for the most part in Pokrovsk. Even reclaim some land in Koltine in these areas. And, unfortunately, this area right here is they're pushing up river valleys. So there's tons of cover, and very, very advantageous for Russia. If they were trying to go this way, it'd be very hard for them. But pushing up the north through the river valleys just gives a lot more cover. And when you have numerical advantage, cover is king. Yeah, our green beans over Polidor had high ground. Yeah. Um, yeah. And if you look at the roads around Volodar, we're, you know, you have basically a major road to the south and a major road to the north. And it was a connecting road between the two. They were right on it. So Volodar was really important for Ukrainians to hold, and I believe they held on to it for as long as it was humanly possible. They could have held on to it longer, but then that would have been another Mariupol situation. Gorokova, it would have been a great defense if they were only approaching from the south, but they were also approaching from the north and the east and pressured that. Unfortunately, we're kind of looking at the defense line here along this river. There's other defense lines back here, and Ukraine will definitely be able to stop them back here. But that is also the border to Dnipro Oblast. So it's a hard situation, and well, when you're facing superior numbers, it's not an easy situation. Pokrovsk, the only reason Russians have not tried to push into Pokrovsk is they do not want another Bakhmut. They don't want to do urban fighting. Urban fighting does not give them an advantage. Ukrainians are better at it, have better equipment for it. And Russia wants to try and encircle it. As you could see, they're pushing into these smaller villages along cover lines, along tree lines, and trying to wrap around Pokrovsk. And that makes this road and this road very, very dangerous for Pokrovsk. Dobropilya is getting hit all the time. This is where a lot of the supplies for Pokrovsk area is coming from. Down this road here and down this road. These are not big roads. Give you an idea. So this is a parking lot. This way. Oh, they had other ones on here before. I wonder if it was because of security. No, like Google Map drivers didn't even go along this road. But that's not pinned for the right place. That's the road in the city. See if I could get a good view of. Maybe this one. Okay, this is going to have a good view of it. Zoo World of Ukraine. Cool. But it doesn't have a good view of it. Never mind. Humana. So that's the road right there that they have to go down. And as you see, it's not a very wide road. It is like 1.5 lane highway for a lot of it. The important thing is the rail line. Anyway, I wish I could get a better picture of it, but it's just not there. Yeah. There you go. There's the road. 2 lanes in the city and 1 lane off out of the town. And looking back the other way, again, wider in the city and shrinking as it goes out of town. It is what it is. But, I'm thankful that Russians do not want to do urban warfare in Pokrovsk and Mirnograd, and that's allowing Ukraine to do a lot of work in this area of attriting the Russians. Speaking of attriting the Russian army, the losses for today. Yeah, the Exist asks if the nuclear plant had been on the north side of the river, what would have been the fate? Yeah, I think they would have blown it up. If it was on the north side, would have been a little bit harder to get water to it after they blew the dam, unless it was over here in like in Nikopol, but that's all housing. Um, the only other place that it could have possibly gone is like right here on the edge of Dnipro and Zaporizhia Oblast. Um, but no, it is right there. Um, if you zoom in here really close, you'll see all these greenhouses. Um, this is the flower center of Ukraine. Before the war, almost all of Ukraine's flowers were grown in these greenhouses. And you see they just go on from Kamianka, from like the edge of the housing, straight over to the power plant. Um, yeah, it says it's a town, and you got people living here, but like the rest of their entire yard is filled up with these greenhouses to grow flowers. Big industry that Russia was able to capture, huh? Anyway, uh, total combat losses of the Russian Federation. Oh, good to see the air alerts are starting to clear. Still some drones near Lutsk in Volyn. Total combat losses of the Russian Federation, June 8th, 2025. 1,070 personnel lost yesterday, bringing the total to 1,028,610. No tanks. We're still sitting at 5 away from 11,000. 4 more armored personnel vehicles, slowly approaching the 23,000 mark. And 41 artillery systems, putting us over 30,000. 30,034 to be precise. 2 MLRSs, 172 UAVs, 86 vehicles. That's a funny number for many Americans because 86 means throw it in the trash. Well, those vehicles are now trash. That is the Russian losses for today, but we cannot forget about that one heavy flamethrower system of the invaders also getting destroyed, even though it's not tracked on here. Tree Sapper stopping by to say hello. Hello there. Hello back. Um, that's cool. I never knew that was there the whole time of war. The greenhouses. Yeah, I mean that's a huge amount of greenhouses, and it's like every almost every person that lives in this village has greenhouses or is getting greenhouses or was before the war. Um, a lot of those have been destroyed. A lot of people ran away when the Russians came and have moved away since because, well, that's the front line right there. That, Nikopol gets hit pretty much every day with artillery, and I'm pretty sure the same can be said across the way. Okay, I need to rest my voice, so we're going to go back old school a little bit and let Zelensky speak his speech while I get some more honey tea in me.
Бажаю здоров'я, шановні українці, українки. Кілька важливих рішень за цей день. Передусім, сьогодні я підписав укази відзначення званням Героя України Назарія Гринцевича та Дмитра Фішера. Також вже підготовлені подання та всі документи щодо Віталія Карвацького. Сам указ по ньому буде по завершенню відповідних експертиз. Важливо, щоб відзначення наших воїнів державними нагородами та спеціальними званнями відбувалося швидше і більш ґрунтовно. На жаль, зараз рідним воїнів та самим воїнам доводиться надто довго очікувати заслужені нагороди, поки тривають різного роду перевірки та бюрократичні процедури. Відповідні посадовці мають прискоритись з цими процесами. Сьогодні провів нараду з нашим військовим командуванням, головком, Генштаб, Міністерство оборони, також Служба безпеки України щодо ситуації на фронті і наших операцій, у тому числі на російській території. Я вдячний всім підрозділам Сил оборони, Служби безпеки України, наших розвідок за результати утиску на окупанта у блокуванні російської логістики. Сьогодні ж доручив міністру оборони України та головкому активізувати всі контакти з американською стороною. Ми маємо зараз необхідні політичні заяви та рішення, і потрібно їх якнайшвидше реалізувати для захисту наших людей, для захисту наших позицій. Передусім, це стосується протиповітряної оборони, а також всіх інших елементів постачання від Америки. Критичне постачання, від якого залежить порятунок життів наших людей, захист українських міст і сіл. Очікую результатів цих контактів вже найближчим часом і, зокрема, цього тижня готуємо формати зустрічей наших команд – військових та політичних. Була сьогодні доповідь керівника ГУР щодо вразливих місць, які є у Росії. Ми обговорили і процес обмінів, він триває, реалізація домовленостей ще другої зустрічі у Туреччині. Стараємось звільнити якнайбільше наших людей з російського полону. Була доповідь міністра закордонних справ щодо наради з усіма українськими послами, яка запланована на 21 липня. Визначили чіткі завдання дипломатам і деякі реформаторські кроки в системі Міністерства закордонних справ. Міністр їх представить. Готуємо відчутне розширення можливостей української дипломатії. Говорив сьогодні ж з головою Верховної Ради України. Потрібно ратифікувати угоду про створення трибуналу щодо російської агресії. Також розблокувати підписання закону про множинне громадянство.
That's important right there. Unblock the signing of the law on multiple citizenship. Before you had to renounce your other country's citizenship to become a citizen of Ukraine. They are getting rid of that and allowing multiple citizenship for certain countries. Nice.
Підписання закону про множинне громадянство, зафіксувати вихід України з Оттавської конвенції щодо мін. І я вдячний усім народним депутатам України, хто підтримує ці та інші необхідні рішення, і важливо проголосувати щодо них найближчим часом. Ще одне. Ми продовжуємо нашу санкційну роботу в Україні. Сьогодні є пакет санкцій проти компаній з Китаю, які на жаль, постачають компоненти для російського виробництва зброї, зокрема шахедів. Чіткі докази цього є. Деталі знаходять у збитих шахедах. Ми будемо говорити про це також з нашими партнерами, щоб вони підтримували українські санкції. Є й нове рішення по синхронізації європейських санкцій у нашій юрисдикції. Ще 3 пакети санкцій ЄС повністю чинні в Україні. Будемо і надалі зміцнювати наш тиск. Я дякую всім, хто нам допомагає. Дякую всім, хто з Україною. Слава Україні!
Героям слава. Again, making sure to thank everyone who is helping Ukraine. Sorry, I just saw something in chat that kind of threw me off little bit. With the top fans thing, KKGG was asking how can she be second? The top fans little thing, it just keeps track of the current stream. So it doesn't add them up from all the others. It's just for this stream. So KK, you're number 2 for this stream. Okay, Dennis has 2 more. Do you still speak about Epstein? We have more important things to discuss. Yeah, Trump, sure. Give you guys a bit of a preview of some of the stories to come as we get to the drones from this morning. 54 drones launched, 26 shot down, 8 suppressed by electronic warfare, and again 4 S-300, S-400 missiles, and unfortunately 0 were shot down. Who's number 1? Here's the list. So Adam Rounds, KKGG, Dark Art Design, Mitch Ashdown, Linda H, You Know They Exist, BB, Haji, Tree Sapper, and Vlad rounding out the top 10. Tatarstan, Russia. A Russian training UAV fell on a house. Just a short little video there, but we got more coming up later. And a bit of a morbid anniversary. Exactly 1 year ago, Russian terrorists attacked Okhmadit, the largest children's hospital in Ukraine. There were more than 600 patients in the hospital. 2 of them were killed, 16 injured, including 7 children. 5 buildings of the children's hospital were destroyed. I think it's important to come up here and show you where that complex was. It was this complex right here. These are all children's hospital buildings. Oncology, cardio, the main hospital, urgent care center. All this was part of the children's hospital. And 5 of those buildings were destroyed by Russia a year ago. I'm not sure it's available everywhere. I know it's available in the States, but I don't think they've let that go to Europe yet. Not sure. Yeah, it's just YouTube trying to mimic what they do on Twitch. So eventually you'll get like certain things you can do with the points you earn from the crowns. Why it's crowns though, I don't know. Um I know on Twitch it's not allowed um on Twitch in the EU because part of it is akin to gambling. But you can play like chat games and such with the points you earn on Twitch. And YouTube plans on doing the same thing, so it might not be available in EU. Some UK people had it, yeah, but UK is not EU. Moving on. Ouch. I just thought that was important to point out. You know, hard thing for kids to actually have to be in the hospital to begin with, and then for Russia to do that. It's saddening. A chopper operator destroyed a copter operator destroyed a Russian FPV drone that was set up to ambush on the road, waiting for Ukrainian equipment to come along. So you see the drone sitting there on the road. No more. So very cool that they're spotting those and taking them out. In other European news today, Europe's biggest port readies for potential war with Russia. Rotterdam port prepares for the possible war with Russia. Rotterdam is reserving docks for NATO military cargo and planning logistic routes in case of conflict. A container terminal is being designed for safe ammo transfers, and amphibious drills will occur several times a year. Coordination will also involve the port of Antwerp. The port director urged the EU to stockpile not just oil, but also key resources like copper, lithium, and graphite. A lot of people seem to think Russia's war is coming. You know, it is already in Ukraine, of course, but yeah. The site of the destruction of a large number of Russian personnel. Obviously, won't be able to show much of the end of this, but you know, I'm gonna have to cut it off there. Doesn't say where that took place at. In Kazan, Russians have officially confirmed the crash of the prototype UAV. Here is more video on that.
Ебать он огромный.
A deceptive maneuver by a Ukrainian drone operator of the Signum Battalion of the 53rd Brigade during his hunt for Russian logistic vehicles.
Вітаю, вітаю, вітаю. Щасливих голодних ігор. Нехай вам усміхнеться удача.
So, saw the vehicle coming, goes off on the side road, dodging the power lines. Ooh, there's a juicy target. I think that drone operator had a butt fetish. And good news, Haji, if you're in chat, pay attention. Oh, good timing, Haji. Seven Ukrainian children were returned from occupied territories as part of the Bring Kids Back UA initiative. The families were subjected to pressure from the occupiers, forced to take Russian passports, and banned from speaking the Ukrainian language. Of course, blurring out the kids' faces to protect them. Dang it. As always, great news to hear some of the kids being able to return to Ukraine. Soldiers from the 15th Brigade destroy a Russian Buk M1. Dunning-Kruger effect? Trying to hide it in the trees and get into their little bunker there. I think that's true of a lot of people inside Russia. Oh, that's the same video. I sent it twice. Let me get rid of that one. Along with the Buk, a TOS 1A in the Zaporizhia region was also taken out. Got the equipment now for the crew. Oh, good work taking out that TOS. More like POS, but anyways. Kondorivka, Sumy region. AFU soldiers broke into the northern part of the settlement. That area right here. If we go to the deep state map and come up here to Sumy. So it's this area right here, cutting the supply lines from the north to Kindershivka. So we'll see the deep state map update soon, hopefully. And nice bit of blue or green right there. Yeah, pushing pretty far in. Just the northern part of the village, but yeah, completely cutting that road. And well, I'll take a small gain. Sucks to be in Russia. A new record for internet outages has been set in Russia. Mobile internet has disappeared in 79 of the country's 89 regions. In 48 regions, users also complain about restrictions on wired internet. In 4 regions, a complete failure of wired internet was recorded for the first time. Basically, if you're in red, you don't get internet. Very possibly why the bots are so quiet. That is a lot of internet outages. Of course, Ukrainian drones were backpacking on the wireless internet to get updated instructions. So, causes a little bit of more logistical issues for future operations like Spiderweb. But, that's Russians' reply to Spiderweb, shutting down the internet for everybody. Sadly, a few hours ago, 220 shaheeds over Ukraine. This was about 3 o'clock my time, so about 7 hours ago. And the path, and we saw the end of it with the drones ending up over in Lviv and western Ukraine. Well, I'll let this video speak for itself.
If you get to hear me now.
Basically, this drone operator was told not to hurt the dog. Russians stole a dog from one of the villagers, and this is the response from it. So you see the Russian so they dropped the ordnance pretty far away to make sure that the small dog wasn't hurt. Dog sticks around for a while, realizes I need to get GTFO, and dog decides I'm out of here. In the later part of this video that did not get shown, the guy must have got hit in the knee or something because he was never able to stand back up after that drop and crawled over to the bushes where he was seen putting on a tourniquet. Fortunately, the last video I have for you today, a series of strikes on Russian armored vehicles and artillery from the birds of Magyar. No, he did not self-delete. You self-tourniquet. It's been a while since we've had a video narrated by Magyar. I can't wait to see what they've been keeping him busy with. Translation on Telegram still is not working. So let me go to Deep L. See what this video is about. Zelenograd, near Moscow at night. The mayor of Moscow reported the alleged shooting down of 2 UAVs flying towards the capital of the Swamp Empire. So I hear them launching stuff, but no hits. Unfortunately, yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there from Ukrainian only channels. I don't like showing them on screen without being able to get you both in English and in Ukrainian. So I've been relying mostly on Warriors Ukrainian because he translates for us. Like this one, besides Kurtz, UAVs are attacking a bunch of other areas in Russia. It just makes it clunky to do the translations manually. And unfortunately, my Ukrainian is not that good yet. Yeah, I've seen those too, Anton. I usually end up filtering those out for the YouTube audience. Yeah, it's a hard thing to watch. Um, yeah, Trump today was especially interesting. Hopefully he remembers everything he said today and follows through with it. With that, it's time for me to say goodnight. But before I do, let's check in with the Easter Pasanki. Or, oh God, I did it. I did it. Dang it. The Summer Sunshine Campaign. And we are at 1,594.1 euros. So a new donor has given today. Slava Ukraina, free all Ukrainian defenders, return all Ukrainian children. Haji, thank you. I'm assuming that's you, but just in case it is an Anana Moose out there, thank you for your support and getting these guys the truck they need to stop the drones in Sumy. Got a bit of ways to go. We're well on our way. 406 euros to go till the next spoonful of hot mustard. I can't wait. Overall, we have raised 199,083 euros. 20, essentially 21,000 away from getting all 20 trucks for all the units. History of everything. First place, beating out Ukraine matters. Anamarki history coming in third. Emu Squad in fourth. Succumimus in fifth. ATP Geopolitics in sixth. Silicone Curtain in seventh. Lord Hard Thrasher in eighth. And Chungus and myself in ninth. Just a few euros away from taking over the number 8 spot. Tanya Fiona, Baba Yaga Fella, The Shills, Sprocket Bicycle, Rudy Acosta Jr. with Rudy Reacts. Pretty cool guy. I've talked to him quite a bit. Phil Ipner with On the Edge. And the Global Gambit. 16 groups all bringing what we can to get these trucks for Ukraine. Thank you all for helping out with these, and I appreciate it very, very much. With that, I'm going to say goodnight. Please remember to hit the like, subscribe if you're not subscribed, but most importantly, keep supporting Ukraine. Before we go into that, into the outro, let me just check on my channel. Still at 474 subscribers, 26 subscribers to go until we can do memberships and super chats for yet another way to help support Ukraine. Thank you everyone for subscribing, coming here, having a nice little chat and some fun. And with that, I play the new intro outro, and I'll see you guys on the other side.